what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Froggy Stocks here. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Really interesting things happening here in the market today. First thing I want to cover, well, that was an interesting open. First thing I want to cover is James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe just noted that he just got back from Maui. Oops, I'm not trying to tag people here. Let's go to the tweet. He just got back from Maui, and he's speaking about video he's got of government officials actually being honest about what went on, and he's going to release it later today, apparently. Just got back from Maui. Our crew, myself included, secretly recorded state and federal officials along the burn zone being honest. Stay tuned Thursday p.m. for part 1 of Undercover in Lahaina installment. Fasten your seatbelt. That is huge. So if you guys are in the HE play, more than likely you're going to want to pay attention to that, because if they do come out with any type of news, it could affect the stock greatly. Because there's a lot of talk there about locals challenging the local government on this land grab stuff and about this smart city that everybody's talking about. So this is going to be really interesting. Other than that, my voice is out a little today. Other than that, space ticking back up finally a little bit, which is good. About $1,000 worth at the close yesterday. Space will also, Virgin Galactic is getting ready for their 5th flight. Let's see. I think I posted it as a news article, which is interesting, because they're just doing back-to-back flights now, which is good, meaning that they're getting a form of stability and consistency. It's really weird, though. When I post stuff on my phone, it doesn't show up in my feed. There it is. Virgin Galactic sets timetable for 5th space flight in 5 months. That's really good. They've got a standard. They've got everything normalized. They've got a routine down. They've had consecutive good flights for the past couple months. Really good stuff. So, right, the big news, there goes space. Awesome. The big news. Oh, 1, 2, Airbnb's taking a hit. Yes. Got my puts on Airbnb yesterday. Hawaiian Electric up 2, almost 3% this morning. What else? AMC. AMC came out yesterday. It's up 8% right now. AMC came out yesterday and announced, Adam Aaron did, that he did a cash raise. And I told everybody a couple weeks ago, when it hit 15, 13, and 15 and got attacked on the announcement of the cash raise, that they would probably raise at 801. That's exactly what he did. This is what this guy wrote. It's absolutely insane. This dude knows he screwed up, and he's out here trying to butter people up. I'm delighted to share this extremely important news with all of you. AMC has successfully raised $325 million of new equity capital through the issuance of 40 million shares via at the market equity raise, which started September 6th and which now has been completed. This material increase to our cash position means that any talk of immediate and imminent financial collapse right now by AMC is moot. We still have many challenges, including Hollywood must resolve the current actors and writer strikes, but regardless, AMC is now a much stronger company given our increased level of cash. Like you, the coming together of AMC common and preferred stock, along with the reverse stock split in August, decreased both my number of owned and granted but unvested AMC share units. So I currently have an economic interest in more than 800,000. The problem is he's working, but those shares were for free. He's spending money to go to work and do these things, right? That's his compensation. He gets a massive amount of shares for free. In turn, it means I personally experienced the great pain felt by AMC shareholders. This guy made $40 million selling shares at $34 for himself. For himself. We could have sold shares at 20, 16, 19, 15, 14. This guy sold the bulk of the shares around $8.11 or $8.14, but they started really selling the shares at 8.01. It was a snip, it was a punch in the face, it was a slap in the face to retail. They planned this. Adam Aaron knew he was going to raise shares there. They basically wiped out most of the retail shareholders. And anytime the stock runs, this guy tweets and knocks the price down. Now, for this to make any reasonable amount of like good news, the stock literally needs to gap fill. I'm going to go ahead and say at least 16. For this to do anything significant, the fill needs to come up. We need to come up and we need to fill first. We need to fill, what is this? Come on, I can't see. $11.50, $12. Form a cup and then jump back up and fill the next gap at 16 for any of this to make any sense. Because the stock trading at 883 right now with $1 billion in cash on hand in a positive quarter makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So either way, the guy blundered it. He's always late to the punch. Space is running, baby. Let's go. It's just disgusting, and you can see by the amount of likes that I have on my comment, I'm almost up to 1,000 likes compared to his 3,821. I'm not saying I'm in a ratio, but we're getting more and more likes, and Mark came in and is getting big engagement too. We're getting more and more likes on tweets like this where we're challenging the CEO because everybody is finally waking up. Everybody in the AMC community is waking up except the clowns like Cat Striker, Jen, and the other AMC cheerleaders. There's a big difference here. There's AMC people who are still vested that are looking for legitimate catalyst type events and doing technical analysis. You know who they are. The other ones are just cheerleaders like Jen and Cat Striker, who are continuously still pumping the stock and pumping the CEO who just ripped their shares out from right under them. It's absolutely crazy. So, either way, back to real business. I'm not in AMC at all. MGM is being held hostage right now with a cyber ransomware. So we got to go check their stock. I was going to jump into puts this morning, but I don't think I'm going to touch it. Yeah, it's not really doing anything. But it's a big thing in Vegas. They're really having some trouble. Come on, Space, let's go. Eventually, the shorts in Space are going to have to cover. The company, and let me explain something to you about Space, guys. I know a lot of people are asking me about it, and this is why I went long. I switched my calls to long, just like Hawaiian Electric. There's a new thing in the market. They're just ripping call options on every play. Space has 950 billion or 950 million in cash. They have like, I think 300 or 400 million in debt, but their total assets are about 1.19 billion. They're cash heavy. They have great assets. The IP alone is worth more than $2 a share. Their flight tech alone is worth more than $2 a share. And they're going now for their 5th consecutive commercialized civilian space flight. This stock having nearly $1 billion in cash, or it's I think they said 950 million in cash. Having that much cash at $1.85 with not even half of that being their debt, what was it, like 400 million in debt, with successful business and successful spaceflight doesn't make any sense. The stock is reported about 20% short, but in my opinion, this thing is probably 40 to 50% short. I think the entire market is actually completely oversold in the fact that short interest isn't being reported correctly on multiple stocks like Hawaiian Electric, Space, AMC, GME, whatever you want to talk about. And in that, they're able to do it because brokers are selling endless shares. More than likely, Back in the day, the entire float of AMC was bought up in the first few months of the meme stock rally. But brokers and Doug Sifu, these morons like Doug Sifu who run Virtue and talk about endless liquidity, there's just no structure in the market anymore. There's no responsibility, and there's no ethics. They are selling shares they don't own because they have to keep the flow going, the endless liquidity. Because if in fact they overshorted the market from 2008 all the way up to 2020, and too many businesses went on a sale, and a few really smart people in Twitter have said a couple times in the past 3 years, all these companies that have went out of business and fell off the NYSE, there's now not enough companies to invest in across the market. So what happened is all these other companies, these real companies, got overshorted, and in doing so, they were able to go out and sell. The brokerages realized they could just sell more stock. If an entire company's float's bought up and the brokerages are still selling, they're selling stock, then you don't own anything. You just have a placeholder. You have an IOU, and it's saying that you're in the market. But if there's a company with a float of 500 million and brokers sell 800 million shares of it, and people are holding it, you're now diluting your own. Every time you buy, you're now diluting your own float because the buying pressure isn't going to match up because shorts are going to come in and use your shares, your IOUs, and the brokerages. And now we have a big problem with everybody being naked short. I personally think that AMC, there's so many shares sold out into the market that it's diluted the float. Like there's so many retail shareholders past the 516 million originally that we actually diluted our own price. So it's pretty wild. That's why DRS was so important. But D's easy. Good morning, Spence. What's the coffee bean company that you talk about? My wife just got a $1 zillion espresso machine. It was Volcanica, and they sell Blue Mountain Jamaican coffee. It was Volcanica. It was pretty good. I took it in. Everybody had a cup. Everybody smiled when they drank it. They said it was really good coffee. I enjoy it. It's delicious. So it's pretty expensive though, man. $1 zillion espresso machine. I need an espresso machine. AA is a genius. Yeah. Craig asks, internet chat of AMC bondholders possibly paid off. Well, there's like 5 billion in debt. So the bondholders are paid off because they're getting a 40% yield and they're going to continue. If anything, 350 million isn't going to be enough to really make a big significant difference with bondholders. Maybe clear a couple of the higher interest ones, but you got to remember AMC Hill still has to pay off their deferred rent. I would rather they paid the deferred rent off. Jason Richard, I'm seriously thinking about getting into space. I am in space for long term. They have 1.15 billion in assets. They got like 450 million in debt. They're flying back to back successfully people into space. Right out of New Mexico here, out of Truth or Consequences. And it's interesting that now they're coming out and saying, okay, well, here's the aliens we told you guys about. So what happens now is the global government knows that we're starting to get kind of overly condensed on the planet. The internet's made the world small. Tech has made the world accessible to everybody. We're starting to kind of get cabin fever on Earth, in my opinion. They're going to start a space race. All this alien stuff, whatever's going on, they're going to start a space race. This is why you got Musk, you got Bezos, you got Branson, all these guys were talking about space for the past 3 years because they knew it was coming. They knew it. It was time to upgrade. If aliens are here, here's my theory. Carbon-based beings can't travel the speed of light. It's theory of relativity. It's just, you can't do it. It's not possible. But you can cross a shorter distance. Instead of crossing 1 light year on a flat plane, you can fold it and cross a shorter distance between 2 points. It's theoretically possible. They talked about it in Interstellar. These beings that we saw, they were little, they're weak. There's no way they could sustain heavy G spaceflight. So in my opinion, they have to have figured out how to control space-time. meaning they can control gravity. If they're in Proxima Centauri b, whatever, they're a light year away, 100 light years away. They can't travel 100 light years because one, they can't sustain it because of their physical build, but two, you're still traveling 100 years. But you can fold space-time, which the black holes colliding that they detected years ago proved the theory of gravitational waves that Einstein had, which will actually shake physical like planets. You won't notice it, but it'll actually warp space-time in a manner that is really mind-blowing, because you think Earth is like this solid rock, right? But when the gravitational waves hit, space-time warps with it and the planet warps with it too. So if these beings can manipulate space-time through some form of gravitational anomaly, right, like a black hole, or they can create singularities in a generator or something, who knows, then they could get here safely in a very, very short relative distance of time. If they can do that, then it makes me believe that their floating spaceships make a lot of sense. If they can control space-time and warp space-time and almost instantly teleport 100 light years to Earth, then floating an object like a spaceship is, and being able to corner and do all this crazy stuff, is makes a lot more sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes a ton of sense. So they're basically their space-time tech, their gravity tech, whatever you want to call it, allows their ships to do whatever kind of moves in our atmosphere that they want in our gravitational field, because that's just the tech they had. Now, if you really think about it too, how everybody says, "Oh, the pyramids, nobody knows how they built the pyramids." Well, if aliens knew how to manipulate space-time and manipulate gravity via that technology with their own ships, then floating monolithic stones wouldn't be much of a task for them. So that's my theory. If they are here, then they're warping space-time to get here in a type of wormhole travel, which is theoretically possible. If they've always been here, which also could be, then maybe all the Antarctica people are right, man. I don't know. It's really fun to talk about, but people need to start thinking outside the box a little bit. Come on, HE. Let's go. Again, if you just joined, make sure you pay attention, because James O'Keefe just said he got back from Maui. Where's his tweet? Just got back from Maui. Our crew, myself included, secretly recorded state and federal officials along the burn zone being honest. Stay tuned Thursday p.m. for part 1 of our Undercover in Lahaina installment. Governor of Hawaii, fasten your seatbelt. Oh my God, indeed. He just challenged the governor of Hawaii. This is going to be good. So I'm going to be watching real close when this comes out later today. Obviously, if he has any evidence on what really happened in Lahaina via the stock or the power company and stuff, that's going to make a big difference to what's going on. Of course, it's really strange how that just comes out today when HE has been finally running on a 7-day uptrend. We're getting ready into our breakout point. It looked like it tried to break out this morning. I think we're going to try to find support. Hopefully we gain support right there at 1345 and we start bouncing up and get ready to go back to 15 before Friday. Airbnb taking a poopy, which is good. I don't know, man. There's a lot of alien talk suddenly, and some random green comment, and it's just crazy. There's a lot of people that are going to be overwhelmed, so their information trickle flow over the past like 3-4 years to try to prepare everybody is probably the right thing to do. Just imagine if you're an alien and you land in a farm field and some farmer just blasts you with a shotgun. Hey, we come in peace. You can leave in pieces. All right. We are green today. I am up 6%. 6% on Hawaiian Electric. I'm up 2% on space. I'm up 9% on my Airbnb puts. Hopefully this thing just really takes a dump. I bought Airbnb puts because of the inflation data that came out. People are going to go on less vacations. Credit card usage is through the roof. We're probably going to get 2 more rate hikes, so be prepared for that. FOMC is going to be on the 20th, so. Al is doing an independent share count that could work for other companies as well. Even if you sold, you can log in your shares. It's never going to work. Good luck to them. You guys, every person, it is impossible for a single entity to do any type of share count with just the people that are on Twitter. There's only probably max 5 to 7,000 people on Twitter that actually talk about their shares. The way to do a share count is direct registration with ComputerShare. That's how you do a share count. It's that simple. If the entire AMC community all went out at once and logged the float within a period of 3 months, the stock would go to $300. But nobody will do it. All this share count, Al and them guys in Daily Blend and Ethan told everybody that they had dirt on Adam Aaron and they were going to stop the lawsuit and the conversion wasn't going to happen, and everybody bought into AMC and got absolutely fucking annihilated. So good luck to them, but it's all just grandstanding. It's all just for YouTube ad revenue. I started easing into space stock, no options, and pre-market cost average 198, going to hold long term. Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild, man. Let's go to the chart. A little breakdown. See what's going on with space. That's kind of outdated. That's 2022. Either way, okay. So December of 2022, we'll just use this. The last I checked, I did mid-year. Let's try to see if we can find some 2023. We might not be able to. Cash and cash equivalents, 949 million cash on hand. They raised more capital with a stock sale, it grew by 50%. All their assets total 1.14 billion. Liability 659, but I think that's actually dropped. I think they paid some off and it's only total debt 415. So the liability is 659, 415, and they're burning cash. They are burning cash, 817 in working capital, but they're burning cash to get their infrastructure set up, which now is finally paying off because they are facilitating spaceflight, where I believe they go out what's called the Kármán line, 6 miles above the Kármán line. Kármán line is a proposed conventional boundary between Earth atmosphere and the outer space. They go 6.5 miles above that. So they are literally, legitimately flying people into the outer atmosphere. It's incredible. I don't get what people don't see about this right now. I really don't. It's shorted to piss. They've got almost $1 billion in cash, and they are now flying people, human beings that are not astronauts, into space. How will UAW affect F and GM prices? I have no clue. Honestly, I don't even touch Ford or GM. Ford has over $300 billion in debt, and GM is an absolute disaster company. I don't think space has a real tourism market. They're going up to the line, then coming back down. They don't have launch capabilities to take up satellites. Yeah, but Red Bull, they're still getting NASA contracts. There's still applicable. There's still reasoning for this. You got to understand, if space can do this consistently and not have any accidents, they may be able to get authorized to fly people up to the Kármán line. I mean, imagine being able to fly that high safely, and then you could land in China in 5 hours. Like, you could this for if something needs to get across the world super quick and they get approved for this and they have the ability to fly at that height just barely outside the atmosphere and then be able to come down and land in another country, that would be really cool. So oh, you work for Blue Origin? Red Bill works for the Penis Rocket Company. No, Blue Origin's cool, man. I love the whole hydrogen thing. I believe they work on hydrogen, right? This is a perfect example of why young men need to learn what the crazy hot matrix is. Amber Heard. Come on, post. Super hot, gorgeous girl, absolutely amazing. Like, super big crush on her when I was younger. Cosplaying, if that's even her. But that's why you need to know the Crazy Hot Matrix, because she's definitely crazy. A lot of people with Adam Aaron are waking up, man. We're waking up. 829 likes off of one of the back of his comments after he sold shares at rock bottom again, man. All right, let's go back to the chart. Look, if you can't see that Adam Aaron is trying to weed out retail shareholders out of his company by now, if you can't see that, you're either willfully blind or you are ignorant. You're completely ignorant. So now all right, HE. Now could AMC run back to 15, 16 bucks and be in decent shape? Yeah, if you bought Ape and you let it convert and you're still in the play and you want to stay in the play and you listen to my thesis about Ape, you might be in good shape here in a month or two. You might break even, or some of my friends will actually be positive on the play. Hey, D's Easy, you know what I didn't do this morning and much last night? I didn't tweet about my stocks, and look what's happening today. Somebody got rolled over this week. Somebody finally had to let go of the pressure. This may be an exit liquidity pump too, because of CPI coming in hot and talks of rate hikes. They may be pumping the market a little bit so they can gain some exit liquidity. Right, let's go. Hawaiian Electric. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys this too. Careful with your stop losses on Hawaiian Electric. Do you see what they're doing here as this thing trends up? Look at these stop loss hunts on these big wicks coming off of these candles. They are stopping people out hard on this. And I'll tell you what's stupid. I told you guys right here. As soon as I sold my call options right here, I had about 9 grand in call options. I went long the stock and sold those right freaking here. And you know what happened as soon as I did? Boom. Boom. Anytime I have a large position in options on the options chain over $5,000, it gets crushed by theta until I get rid of it, and then it rips. It's really interesting. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I know I'm making some money back today, so making money back on stock too, so I don't have any exposure to risk of options getting crushed. Airbnb puts are up 10%. I think Airbnb is going to dump. I think it's all coming. I think all the housing stuff's going to fall. It's got a gap too. Airbnb has a gap down at 134. So that's probably where I'll look at setting up to get out is if this thing dumps to 134, 133, I'll go ahead and look at possibly getting out. But this type of behavior in the stock, running up to all-time highs during, heavy loan, high interest rates, heavy loans, defaults starting to go through the roof, Airbnb, people not going on vacation as much because of inflation. This thing may dump right back down to 103, but we'll see. So I'm not going to say the date on my puts anymore. I'm going to keep some of my trading information more proprietary. Well, the attorney general and the sheriff basically told the governor of New Mexico to go F herself. So the whole gun ban thing is completely illegal. She's out of her mind. Even her Democrat colleagues are telling her that she's wrong on this one. And she just keeps doubling down on it, man. More than likely, it's because she knows she's not going to be governor for much longer. They always lose their mind when that happens. I don't see anything else on Twitter going on today. It's a little slow this morning. Should probably put my dog outside. bit of caffeine. So let's keep in mind our catalysts here. Airbnb, housing, interest rate hikes. Was just coming down from almost being overbought on the daily. Lots of downside on RSI and daily MACD starting to tick down. That's good. Starting to hit a little low on the RSI on the 5-minute, but that's fine because we had a sharp drop today. This may continue. Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it's going to just drop and gap fill 134. So that's good. That'll be a good one on those puts. That'll be my beer money for the next 6 months. Space, nice run today. Starting to pop a little flag on the 5-minute. Again, their reasoning, I think they ran today is because, I mean, they're just $1.85 for a company that's got 1.14 billion in assets. Doesn't make any sense. Compared to debt, that's basically nothing. So 202 kicking back up. Maybe shorts start coming in and covering as they become more successful with each space flight, which coming up soon is going to be their 5th one. It's pretty interesting. HE popping, looking good. Look at that. Look at that. How much? 400,000 in volume. Completely wicks out. Stop loss hunted somebody. Probably just took their shares. There's a lot of people too on Webull talking about they sold covered calls and their covered calls are going to get fucking ripped out of their hands. Their shares are going to get ripped. This looks like this thing's about to pop. Like this looks like it's going for like a 8% day to day. So that's good. But again, James O'Keefe is dropping news at the end of the day. Now, the reason the news could be good for Hawaiian Electric stockholders is because James O'Keefe, more than likely, as he tagged the governor specifically, is probably going to come in, and I think the government knows what caused the fire or was the source of the fire hitting the town. Now, if the power company, if the power lines caused the fire and they de-energized and a secondary source caused that fire, then HE's in the clear. If HE somehow caused the fire, the secondary fire, and it was unable to be put out because the fire hydrants were apparently dry on the island or in the area of Lahaina, there was no water to fight the fire with, then I don't think they're still held liable, because if 85 mile an hour winds comes and blows something off your house and it hits and causes a fire and you put it out, you have the resources to put it out. That's one thing. If something happens in your yard, I don't even know how to explain this. That's not a right analogy. Let's just say this. If power line blew down, caused a fire, they went to put it out and they couldn't because there was no water in the hydrants, that is a complete failure on the part of the Maui government. So I think James O'Keefe is going to be going after the Maui government and exposing what actually happened, and or if what's going on with this smart city land grab stuff is actually true. It seems like the Maui citizens are starting to really kind of stand up against the government. So, boom, using aliases help, I bet. Pineapple Mom House. Well, I told you guys, this dude right here, let me find him. There's only certain people that call Mark Cohode's chicken farmer, and that's fund managers. And this dude here, Walt, this guy's just weird, man. I don't know what this dude's issue is. He's like, it's almost like an AI type and shit. But this guy, this TMF something or other, he keyed up on some tweets. He's been harassing me for like 3 weeks now. I think it's individual fund managers that are pissed off that I took their money in Signature Bank. I helped take their money in Ape. I'm 300% on the year. They're mad that I'm beating them out. They hate it. These fund managers who think they're big time, because if somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, Spence, here's a couple mil. Go do what you're doing," I would turn that into something stupid really quick. Now, I've done pretty good this year. I would have probably been up for making a mill this year if Jamie Dimon wouldn't have come out and did what he did when he said, "Oh, by the way, SEC is going to ban bank shorts," because MCB was ready to be shut down. MCB got halted. I was up over 150,000 on it. It got halted around like 15, and it should have been shut down because I know that investigators went in to check their internal controls. It must have been right after FRC. And if it would have went to zero, I probably would have made close to probably 300,000 on that one. But Jamie Dimon came out and did this big grandstanding thing talking about the SEC wanting to ban short selling on bank stocks because JP Morgan is the underwriter for Metropolitan Bank. So he screwed me out of that one. I was going to get a big win there. I bought more TMF this morning. Are you going to start a Discord? No, I'm not a big Discord. I don't, dude, just running my YouTube is work enough already. I do it just to get on here and see what you guys are saying. This isn't like an income stream for me at all. So I like talking about it, seeing what you guys say, and then I can go and make better theses for my own investment profile. And you guys bring good news too, stuff I don't see. So when governors feel they're not going win an upcoming election, they tend to start rehearsing for a mainstream media job. Yeah, they do. The cackling hens on The View will probably, oh my God, I hate The View, dude. I hate The View so much. What up, Spence? What have I missed? Oh, just to recap, this morning, James O'Keefe tweeted, and this is important for Hawaiian Electric. Just got back from Maui. Our crew, myself included, secretly recorded state and federal officials along the burn zone being honest. Stay tuned Thursday p.m. for part 1 of Undercover and Lahaina installment. Governor Hawaii, fasten your seatbelt. This is going to be juicy. This one, and why can't I bookmark this? Oh, there it is. Bookmark. This is going to be big. That space is going for its 5th consecutive flight. There was a news article that came out, posted about it, which is why it's kind of ticking up today. Plus, they've got a decent balance sheet. Airbnb, I'm taking a position to the downside on that because of inflation creeping up. They're probably going to do interest rate hikes. Home loan, mortgage defaults, credit card defaults, auto loan defaults are all coming. So vacations are going to fall off, especially wintertime coming up. Hydrants down is no excuse. I'm a retired firefighter. They could have drafted the water. Yeah, I'm just saying, Reynard, they said the fire hydrants in the city of Lahaina were completely dry. And they're under drought conditions too, so. I would subscribe to your fund with all my 8 profits if you ever go that route, brother. All right. The entire strategy is December last year cleared over 100K. Dude, you're awesome. 100K. D's easy. Everybody clap. Everybody put a clap in the chat for D's easy, man. That's great, dude. Where's my damn emojis? Clap. Hey, there you go. I like to hear when people make money, man. I would have walked away with another 10 grand if I would have sold at 240. I made 36 the first time. I made like 8 the second time, and I would have walked away with 10 this last time if I would have sold at 240 when Grandpa Barney got out. But again, man, I got so locked into helping so many freaking people and getting nonstop phone calls from people that will talk shit on Twitter and then somehow find my number and call me for help. They'll literally talk shit on my tweets and then call me for help because they want the engagement of the AMC community, but they don't want to tell the truth. And that's a That's a good tweet right there. The engagement from the community is worth more than the stock. Mentally and financially. Like, people love it. I'm waiting for a $5 bottom on AMC to average down and breaking big time so I can break the hell out of it. Yeah, if you're in the play and you're upside down big time, this is what I would do. If I had like say a $70 to $100 cost average with a bunch of shares and I was way upside down, I would continue to buy each dip for a year or two, maybe a year. And I would average down as much as possible and wait for the next pop. AMC likes to have random 30, 40% pops on certain days as shorts decide they want to start covering. And you can see it through the chart for the past 3 years. Boom, 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 boom. And now we've had this big drop because of the reverse split and all the actions. This thing could literally pop back to 20 bucks if everybody's lucky. I mean, the gap here, and you got to consider reverse split, but there's a gap up to 37. If you go to the daily, there's more. There's actually 16 and 36. There's actually 12, 16, and 36. And they just raised cash, and we are in a reversal period. If any good news comes out, say the Taylor Swift thing is going to make a ton of money. It really is. If they make a lot of money and Adam Aaron clears the deferred rent and they come out with a $20, $30 million positive quarter, which is a stretch, but if they end up coming out with, say, even 10 to 20, then the stock's going to react. Now that everybody's repositioned and the shorts have basically won the game, you could see a 20, 30% pop coming up in the future. What I would personally do is I would be flipping my lots. Anytime I went positive on certain lots, I would dump them and I would continue to average down on my lots that were hurting through the rest of the next 12 months. And slowly but surely you can fix your position. Also, I would probably sell covered calls the entire time. I'd probably be selling covered calls the entire time, making my money back. Yeah, man, if you and Mark do that big fundraiser you talked about in the past, let me know. Absolutely. I sent Mark a private message asking about his favorite charities. Yeah, dude, Mark's awesome. He's the amount of money he's donated to charity is just ridiculous. It's awesome though. He's a hell of a guy. So, like I said, if HE, which I think it will, if we get back to the gap fill ranges on HE, I'll be donating some money to the Lahaina citizens, straight to the people, not to the government or any fund. But what kind of duration do you look at for covered calls on AMC play? This is exactly what I was thinking. So the thing with covered calls is on duration is I'm not going to sell a covered call just to make like 20 bucks. You can play it super safe and make $20 a day if you want with very low risk, which if you're playing this for 12 months is probably not a bad strategy. You could sell a covered call, end up making 30 bucks on it a week, and by the end of time, you've made some of your money back. I try to usually like to go at a 65% risk tolerance, meaning I tighten the duration in closer, maybe 2 weeks, and then I sell it at a strike price that's maybe 20 to 30% off of the current price. So that way, if I do that, I don't sell a lot of them, but I end up pulling maybe like, I don't know, like 50 to 100 a week or 2 weeks or something like that. But you can play it really safe and sell a bunch of them way out for way too high of a strike and make 30 bucks every couple weeks if you want. So it just depends. It's a good way to make some of your money back while you're sitting and waiting. Yeah, I'm spilling my soda on my keyboard. That's cool. Yeah, that'll really help my situation out here. Let's see if my internal mouse tab quits working now. Cancel. Oh, looks like we're good. Get some canned air. Luckily, it's sugar free. Setting the strike for the break even, and if it hits fine, get me out of the play. Yeah, it's not a ton of money, but hey, look, man, if you can make 30 bucks every 2 weeks for basically just doing 2 minutes of work, why not? Actually, I feel like I should be doing that with Hawaiian Electric or Space. I'm going to do it with Space. I'm going to sell, what is it? Cash secure puts? I would hate to get my Hawaiian Electric shares ripped and then the thing just run. Buy right. Let's see. What's going on here? Calls and puts. Buy right. So I think here I'd be selling a call. My max gain would be $700 by September 22nd. This doesn't look right. I really don't like Fidelity's options tables. Come on, Hawaiian Electric. Everything's curving back up out of my favor. Space. It's like everything's cooling off a little this morning. That's okay though. We're still in good shape on everything, so. My buddy is heavy on HE shares. I was telling him to write cover calls at this point because his cost average is so low. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. Never sell a covered call with a strike below your cost average. Yeah. That yes, absolutely. Look at the volume that came in. What was that? Oh, we did that earlier. 439,000. That much volume. This should start ticking up here in a little bit. Did anything just happen that the market? I feel like everything just cooled off for some reason. September 15, 250. Oh dang, I got stupid. I got cash in my account that I don't have doing anything with. I just realized too. What's Overstock doing? Ooh. Novix, what are you doing? TMF. Ooh. TMF's looking good. RSI is really low on the 5-minute. Like I said, my new plan here is to buy stock and start building a massive portfolio. Whoa, what happened to Eris? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on, Eris Capital? What's the news on that? That's a something happened there. That's a big drop for RCC news. What's going on with the feed here? ARCC reported a US dollar 48 share dividend 914 today. So why did the stock drop like crazy? They reported a good dividend. The stock took a dump. What was the past dividend? 48. 48. Interesting. Here's the thing, though. You can buy Hawaiian Electric right now at 13, and if they're not held liable, the stock comes back, and if they reinstitute their 48-cent dividend, you'll be crushing it. So, oh boy, what else is going on here? Oh yeah. So they get the dividend and then they sell the stock. I got you. That could be why too. MCB. What's MCB looking like? God, I should have reshorted MCB. I knew it. I'm making so many dumb mistakes because I was so wrapped up in AMC this past couple months. Stupid. MCB's got gaps to fill to the downside too. Probably too late on that one now. What do I do? What do I do with my money? Come on, Airbnb. What the hell are you doing? Go down. Piece of shit. Look at HE post dividends. Yeah, it makes sense because people get the dividend locked in and then they sell the stock. Yeah, down. I mean, HE, I guess you could dividend down. Yeah. Yep. I'm really thinking about what I want to do here. I don't want to overload on space. I've got enough in there where if it does squeeze out, I'll make good money. Trying to figure out what I really want to do. Maybe I don't need to do anything with it. Maybe I should just sit back and wait. I don't want to average up on each E. I've got plenty of money in that. That's silly. What's a Novix doing? What's UPST doing? Holy sh. It's looking like UPST is finally just calming down. What's everybody else looking at today? Just keep cash on the side. You make like 4% Fidelity. Virgin Galactic, it'd just be awesome if they came out and said, oh, by the way, we got a new NASA contract for flight training, whatever, man. You know, there's so many things that they can do. People think, well, they only fly to the edge of space, so there's not really much they can. There's a ton of stuff they can do. Actually, Virgin Galactic, the military applications for flying at the levels they do and the manner they do is incredible. The military applications for that are insane, and people don't realize it yet. Orbital drop shock troops, baby. ARM IPO. ARM. Here, that one. Inflation's going up. People don't have as much money. They're going to get more frugal. I don't know. Maybe it's just time to do more TMF, man. You get a 4-cent dividend, 5-cent dividend while you wait. Everybody's shorting treasuries like crazy. The ETF slammed in the dirt. Eventually, you know, it's going to take time, but when this thing resets, like I said, I plan on adding money every month from here on out to my portfolio. Like, I'm going to build a pretty big portfolio. There may be a re-entry on ARCC coming up. If this thing breaks 19, if we see it come down and break 19 again, I don't really see any gaps that need to fill to the downside. But if it double tops here at 1956 and say comes back down and hits ranges around here in this channel, then I'll jump back in ARCC. Maybe. I should have never sold. Had it locked in, man. Come on, Airbnb, go down. HE, go back up. See what happens with HE today. I don't know if it's trying to find support there or what's going on with it. A lot of volume came in, didn't really do nothing. It's kind of crazy. Space is looking bullish. I don't know. Finally coming to a breakout point. And look at all the gaps to the upside on this thing. And they raised cash. I mean, they sold shares, they diluted, but they did it in a good way. They made a lot of money off of their dilutions. It's definitely in a falling wedge, but it looks like it's getting ready to possibly break out of it finally. Especially if there's any type of good news. Those are our gap fill lines there. I mean, it's probably been a falling wedge for a long period of time. I think it's going to reverse. I think it's going to be a big winner by the end of the year, maybe into next year. I don't know. I keep looking at overstock too, man. That gap. There's a possibility it could come down a little more, but they just need the CEO to come out and actually do some good news. This downside was nothing but news from the insiders saying the Bed Bath & Beyond earnings didn't hit like they expected. But look at the gaps here. Hell, there's a gap here too. I have a trip to DC the last week of September with the GBA. Going to try to find out what the consensus on space is. 51 at offering. Craig asked for ARM. ARM hasn't dropped yet. Is that the ticker? Is ARM? Oh, the IPO hasn't dropped yet. A lot of IPOs have been getting slapped in the face. If anything, if I play IPOs, I would jump in and maybe grab a really small downside position. Space buying, it gets to 190, 193. Yeah. I'm buying a decent little position for the long haul. They're talking about aliens. They got alien bodies. Everybody's flying into space. I think they're getting ready to start another space race. And either way, space, lower Earth orbit, higher Earth orbit, all that stuff is becoming very popular with, Starlink and everything going on. There's a reason everybody's fighting to get to space. It's not just for fun. Something is going to come up here in the coming years. We're going to go, okay, hey, aliens are real. We're going to start introducing, we need to start introducing commercialized space flight to get people ready for this type of environment. I mean, it's just happening, man. People don't think about it now, but it's around the corner. It really is. I mean, we'll go to Mars by the time we will have a manned flight mission to Mars by 2040, in my opinion, maybe 2050. So, let's check Twitter, see if there's any news. There's so much. I don't see very much stock stuff in my For You anymore on Twitter. Pretty crazy. What's Gavin saying today? SoftBank's arm is going public tomorrow. That's what you guys. IPO just priced at 51, selling 95 million shares and raising 4.9 billion. Interesting. This is they are only floating 9% of the shares in this IPO. On top of the companies like Apple, TSM, and Intel will buy 1 billion of the 5 billion. Only around 5 to 6% of the shares would actually be available to trade tomorrow. Looks like SoftBank wants a low float squeeze. Maybe I'm down for this right here. Can we skip the election and have these two mud wrestle on the House floor, decide which old geriatric gets into office? I would not mind seeing that. That would be awesome. I'm sitting here like I want to buy more space. I'm gonna play the IPO tomorrow. I think we'll see if Apple and all those companies are buying in. Big financial institution. I don't know, but retail's keying up on it. Maybe I'll just take $500 and play it and see what happens. T0 on alien technology. What a world we living in now. Before 2040, Elon's goal is 2029. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen, guys. The rate at which technology is evolving, advancing today is insane. People just, it's crazy. They would get more done than the politicians. Oh, man. AOC and Bobert mud wrestling on the House floor. That's America. I would love to see that. But we always don't get what we want. And watch space is gonna blow up. I should have bought more shares. That's all right. Whatever. We'll just sit. We'll just sit on the money. We'll watch ARM tomorrow. Spence, did you see that Mitt Romney announced his retirement at 76, acting like he's doing us a favor? It's a nursing home. Yeah, dude. It's a Congress of corpses in Washington, D.C. It's literally a Congress of corpses. These people are on drugs to make it through the day. You have 80-year-old people on narcotics basically running your country for you. And the inner city people, and this is where the big votes are, man. It's inner cities. Wayne County, Michigan. It's Chicago. It's LA. It's DC. It's whatever. Atlanta. Look, man. Inner city folks, y'all need to get out of your fish bowls and you need to wake up. The reason everything's so expensive and life sucks is because you keep voting for zombies, bro. Dude, Democrat, left, right, Republican, doesn't matter. Stop voting for 80-year-old fucking politicians. Stop it. Doesn't matter left or right. I would rather have AOC in Congress than freaking Nancy Pelosi. Mitch McConnell should not be in office. Joe Biden should not be in office. They are a Congress of corpses. That would be a good movie, Jason. Congress of corpses who are all on narcotics. That's getting pinned. Oh, no. Well, she's a babe, too. Rep Luna. Oh, yeah. And there's something to be said about young, attractive people in politics. They have more sway over real-time events. People will listen to younger, more attractive representatives because they can relate better to them. When you see Nancy Pelosi at 80 fucking 5 with her skin hanging off her face and her Botox and her sunken eyes, talking about her hundreds of millions, billions of dollars she's made and her $20,000 fridge with $5,000 worth of ice cream in it during the pandemic, she's stupid. She's an old, wealthy elitist who cannot relate with real current economic problems. The government and the U.S. economy should be working for the people, not against us. Right now, it's only working for elitists. It's time to get new blood into Congress. I don't care what anybody says. These freaking people still think it's the Cold War. They restarted the Cold War. Oh, yeah, AOC with Paulina Luna. She's gorgeous, man. I'm just voting for the sexiest candidate this year. Screw it. The sexiest candidate's getting my vote. Because nothing else works. Maybe we'll throw off the Dominion voting machine algorithms by voting for the hot teacher or the hot librarian. I mean, seriously. All right, Airbnb. Go back down, you bastards. Oh, come on, go down. I've got some duration on my puts anyway, so I should have made it short for the week. I would have made like $500 right there, but I bought duration. But I think Airbnb is going to continue to decline out of this. So, either way. Well, guys, that's about all I got. I'm going to wait for James O'Keefe to come on. If anything big comes out, maybe I'll jump back on. We'll see if Airbnb gets me another line. See if we start a downtrend on this. You guys know what I feel about space. Having a really good day on space today. Just bought in more shares at $1.90 the other day. Airbnb playing the downside. HE having a decent little day. Looked like it was going to go for the breakout. Coming back down into the channel. Hopefully we get support right around here. Even here, I don't care. Coming back down into the channel, getting ready to hit into its next higher low into the breakout period I think we're about to have. Funny enough, James O'Keefe is dropping news today on the Lahaina government, on the Maui government. Matt Gaetz, 41 years old. got shit done without the vote for Congress. We need young blood in DC. We do. We need people that are going to get stuff done that aren't worried about their private dinner party with Bernie Madoff and Ken Griffin and whoever else and Jamie Dimon, and how they're going to funnel money through another country's war to fund their own policies. It's over. These 40-year, 30-year plus politicians have become embedded in Congress. They run shadow governments. It's a disaster. We need young, new people. If you're a Democrat, vote for the young Democrat. If you're a Republican, vote for the young Republican. Left, right, doesn't matter. Get new people in Congress, and the country will start fixing itself. I guarantee you. These old Cold War shadow governments need to go away. So either way, I'm going to kick off. Thanks for coming, guys. Please make sure to like the video. Keep in mind, if you're in HE, go follow James O'Keefe and watch and get ready to see what he says, because it looks like he's got dirt on the Maui government and maybe the conspiracy theories are true. You want to watch it if you're in HE, because if any news comes out about the electric company, it could hurt the play or it could be good for the play. So make sure you're very, very up on that. If you're getting into space, go to Space's website and go check when their next flights are. You have to watch each flight. If there is an incident during a flight, you got to dump your stock as quick as possible. It's just how it works. So either way, you guys have a great day. Take care. Froggy Stonks out.